Starting the So yesterday we looked at all the add column perspective. What are the different data transformations we were able to do in regards to the custom column or column adding from examples or selection. And we thought of looking at the evoke custom function later. I'll come up with a few examples actually later on. But let's move further actually. Okay. So we also can create something like index column as well. Okay. So basically the index column will help us in adding a column that starts with a specified number as such and increment by specified number, something like that. So if I click on here, you see an index column got added actually. Okay. Let's double click on that. Now you see the starting value is 0 and increment value by 1. Give me a minute. Oh, sorry for the background. Sorry. Okay, so we'll start again. I mean to say like we were looking at the index column. So here the index column started from 0 and it is like we are incrementing by 1. Okay. Suppose we don't want 0, we can just start with 1, wherein I'll just type it as 1 only in here and increment by 1. Okay. See, it's like 1, 2, 3 got added. Okay. We use indexes. It serves multiple purposes. In order to fetch the records, we can create certain index. Okay. And the indexes are created within the Power Query also. And few indexes are created at the backend SQL table as well. Okay. Wherein that index is will be related to any of the primary. You remember we discussed about primary key or not? Sure, actually. Okay. So generally, the primary key is a row column actually within a table that represents the uniqueness. Okay. And the reason we create primary key is we try to link this one column from the one table to the column from another table. So this should be like unique. The primary key should be unique. These are the characteristics actually. So it will be unique. It shouldn't have any nulls, and there should not be any blank values also in that primary key. These are the characteristics of the primary key. So in the same way, if we create an index, we can refer that as a primary key because there are no nulls in here. And if you have observed, the sequence starts whatever the number we have given and ends with the last row of our database as such. Okay, if our table consists of like 10,000 records, it will keep on adding the index numbers like 200, 300 till 10,000. It will keep on adding. You see, I just showed you right. 486 it's coming as 490 500 because I have 300,000 data in my table, so all those numbers will be coming out. And there are a couple of things like we can just start with 5, increment by 5. This also can be done. It's up to us, like whatever the number we want to give. Again, mostly we'll just start with 1 and increment by 1. That's what we will do. uh, this is like general tendency. And in this index column, if it can start from 0, start from 1, or even custom. Custom in the sense just now we talked about, where we can give the start number, whatever the value we need, and increment also, whatever the value. So 5, it will start with 5 and increment by 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. Okay. This is about the index column. Then we have something called the duplicate column also. Okay. Suppose I want to utilize this as a column where I want to like make some changes to this column. What will I do? I'll just try to duplicate this column. It will be added towards the end. You see, I got moved towards the end and it got added in here. Okay. And if we want to like make any changes to this particular data or something like that, we can use this column as such. Okay. So here, if we observe it here, and a new column got added and a new copy as a end, it got added towards the end as such. In case suppose like we want to like uh, make some changes, so we can make these changes to this column, and the original column will be as is. There will not be any problem for that. So like we looked at the split column or something like that, we can use split by delimiter in here, hyphen for the leftmost, and you see a new 2 columns got added. I don't need this column, then I will just remove this column, and this I will say abbreviation. So for that reason, you are using this column as leaving the column as is, but you are creating a new column, something like that. This duplicate is useful actually. And then comes the format, like you can change from lowercase to uppercase to lowercase. You see, these are like uppercase. Now I can change that to lowercase. You see, and a new column got added because we are in the add column section. So whatever the changes you do to a column, it will get added as a new column. Now I'll add as a uppercase. See, new column got added, uppercase. Then I will just capitalize each word. I mean to say that again, it will get added. Capitalize each word is starting letter. There will be it will be added as a capital letter. Then we can trim. You can see there again, new column got added. Clean. Trim and clean are nothing but from trim. If I highlight here, you can see wherein it says like a new column will be added with leading and trail white spaces will be removed. Okay. And the clean, if you see, it will just remove the non-printable characters. Okay. So there is a difference between trim and clean. If I want to remove any white spaces before or after the text, probably this will be useful. And if at all we want to remove any non-printable characters, that clean will be added. And probably you might have seen this somewhere in here also, the format. It doesn't add the column. It will change or make the changes in the same column. But when you go to add column, it will add a new column based on our input as such. So prefix I am adding 1, and now you can see 1 got added and a new column got added. That is the difference between this transform and this add column section. Again, same thing goes with this extract also. If you want length, a new column gets added. See, 3 length it shows. And if we, the first characters, if you want, again, it is like only 1 column. So first character, a new column will get added. And you can see it is being text now. And the column shows up in here as such. Okay. Then parse and XML, sorry, within the parse XML and JSON, these are the file formats. Probably we will be able to, mean to say, when you work on that specific JSON or XML file, you can extract the data out of that. And like we discussed, the statistics, standard, okay, scientific, these all are similar to the options that are in here, and the date, time, duration also same thing as such. Okay. So nothing specific. So again, if at all we are selecting some ship date column, let's say, where is the ship date? Okay. If I want to extract year out of this, a new column gets added. You see, this is the year based on the ship date as such. Okay. Again, similarly, if at all we want to actually add some week number, let's say. Okay. Week of month I will add, because week of month we say it is like within a month there are like 4 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those numbers will come up in here. Okay. So this is all about the same options that we have under the transforms. Okay, there are no major changes in here. Then let's go back to the view. Okay. If you see this bar in here, this is the formula bar where it shows the formula bar, what it is. If I uncheck this, the formula bar will be removed. If I check, the formula bar will show up. Okay. And then monospaced, this actually some visually problematic people, okay, they will be able to look at a different way. And that is what monospaced. If you have observed the text, there are certain spaces being added within the text. I mean to say not spaces as such, the uh, kind of font format will be changed as. Okay. Then show white space is nothing but wherein the white space and the new character line will show up actually by using this. We hardly use this. That will not be in no use of this actually. Then we have something called column quality. Okay. Once I select this, if you have observed on top, it will show the detailed information of the columns as such. Okay. So for example, let's say within row ID I am in, okay, I want to look at the column quality. Are there any errors? Are there any empty values? That is up what showing up in here. Are the values, whatever it shows, are the 100% correct? Or is there anything issue with the values within the column is what we can look up in here by going to this option in here as such. Okay. And so this will be helpful when like you will have a large data model and multiple tables. Somewhere, for some reason, um, the kind of errors may come up actually. So in that case, in order to evaluate, you may not go to each and every record and go through each thing, right? So in that case, what it will show, you can just I mean to say, you can just check this box in here that shows column quality, and that will show the valid value. There are any errors, any empty values. That those all will show up in here. Okay, and similarly, there is similar kind of validation that you can do based on the column distribution. This column distribution, it will give you like what are the distinct value, what are the unique value. Okay, and if you see in here again, how many distinct value, how many unique values are there. Okay, and again, if you see 383 distinct values and 144 unique values. So both will show for all the columns without you checking as such. It will give you the number of unique values and the distinct values. So row ID, we can consider this as a primary key, because you see all 1,000 are distinct values and 1,000, all the 1,000 are unique values as such. Okay, there is no uh, non-unique record in this as such. All are unique. Okay. Then we have something called column profile as such. And this column profile will give an additional steps based on the column you are selecting. So I selected this column. It shows what is the count, what are the errors in it, what is the empty that we have. So it will be a follow on with the column quality as such. So the column quality gives the first three things, not the first three things. Column quality gives the valid percentage, error and empty, which error and empty are also part of this column profile as such. Okay, but column profile will go with one single column each time. Okay, suppose I want to do the column profiling just for this row ID, then I will get the column profiling specific values for that row ID column only, not for the other columns as such. Okay. Then again, if I select the order ID, it will give you the count. Okay. It will give the errors, empty and all here. Okay. And then it is giving the distinct value. Okay. And suppose if there are any like values that are unique, empty within the column that you are being added as such, even that empty values also will show up as such. Okay. And this minimum value and maximum value may not be relevant for this column. Okay. But if you select a certain sales column, okay, let's say, where is the sales? Sales. So it will show you the minimum value. This is the minimum sale out of the complete sales that we have. And this is the maximum sale that we have, 0.99, 11199. And it's also adding the average, standard deviation, these values as well. Probably the standard deviation and all we may not look at, but this minimum, maximum, and the average values are something we can get out of this column profilers. Okay. Any questions in here? So this will be helpful when you are trying to do some kind of analysis, when you are trying to look at the data. Maybe sometimes there will be incorrect data, something like that. In those scenarios, this column profiling and column quality will help you guys actually. Any questions that you have? Okay. And this go to column will be able to again go to the specific column that we want based on the all the columns that we have. And advanced editor will show up in here also, where we can look at the M code that is being generated. Then we can see the query dependencies. Okay, this query dependencies is nothing but what all the tables that we have loaded and all. It will just show from which table you have loaded what column and all. That will show up in here, and it will show the two things in here, either top to bottom or bottom to top layer. Layout we can change left to right, something like that. So if you see, I loaded the orders table, then I created a merge with people table. That flow will show you among the tables that are in here as well, and the loaded tables that will be shown up in here based on the different queries that have been linked to this as such. Okay, that's what it talked about the um, query dependencies. Then we have something called query setting. The query setting is nothing but the applied steps in here. You see the properties and the applied steps. If you want to see that, you can leave it as is, or you can uncheck that, click that again, then those will be removed as such. Okay. And we have something called diagnostics, where we can start the diagnostics if there is any error in the data. If you want to find out any kind of unnecessary rows that you want to check in, actually you can start diagnosis. But what happens is here, like it could not be globally enabled due to the permissions or system limit. So if we have to restart this Power BI, and if we are working for an organization, probably the administrator level access has to be provided for this diagnostic to run on your system. Even I'm not able to run on my system also. I just have to restart. Otherwise, I can run that diagnostic. Okay. Again, this is not that important as such, I would say. In my experience, I haven't used it all, I would say. Instead of me hardly used or something, I haven't used about this diagnostic steps. You can leave that. Then comes the help, where this will be having the learnings, documentation, training videos, uh, Power BI blog, community. These are all related to the Microsoft actually, wherein it includes the learning training videos actually. Also, you can submit some idea as well, basically in order to look at some data related to the any issues or any bugs that you find out in order to use the application as such. Then you can submit some idea using this forum as such. Okay, this is all about the different options that we have. Okay, any questions, because we are trying to wrap up the Power Query part. Okay, so basically we have covered all the parts except the invoke function, where we thought of like having certain examples in order to look at the invoke function as such. Other than that, do you have any questions that you have in your, as per the this thing. Any questions? Okay, so the final thing that I would like you to take you through is the options one. Okay, let's say you are utilizing a file, that this file, those options are like something related to these things. Okay, these are like self-explanatory. Okay, but I would like to talk about this preview features. Let's say there are certain any new visuals that are being added. Okay, new changes that are done. Okay, first they will add under the preview features. Okay, and then once you feel like, I mean to say, once you feel like you want to practice before it get released and all, probably you may want to enable that actually. Okay, once they feel like it is working fine and all, they will remove from the preview features and they will add a certain tab somewhere in here. If it is related to the desktop, they will add somewhere in here or on the top aspect if they are making certain changes that are related to those as such. Okay, but if you are like unable to see the feature, okay, let's say it is like late, very recently released something. Okay, in that case what you will do, you will try to add in here. Okay, I have something called modern visual tooltips I would like to add, and a data query for Power BI data sets. I don't want to add this, and Q&A for live connected analysis service I want to add. I'll just click OK. Then it will ask us to restart the application. Then only those changes will be applied to your report asset. That's how it is. Okay. And other than that, the other options are like self-explanatory. Basically, here, if at all you want to use Python scripting, R scripting, first of all, you have to choose the home directory R and select a detected R installation from the drop-down list, and then we will be able to utilize the R code in order to build a visual or bring the data into Power BI or Power Query. This too will work in that way. And if there is any like changes and all, that will be global in the sense there will be multiple reports that you may have developed in Power BI. So that global will affect all the reports within Power BI that you have developed as such. Okay, that is one thing. The current file is something, the one file that you are using in order to build something on your desktop as such. Both the things, both are two different things. So don't get confused by that as such. Okay. So, so whatever the changes I have made to these columns, I don't want to have these actually. Okay, that is fine because these are like self-explanatory. I thought of sharing this with you, but I don't think these are like major things that you have to remember or something like that. Okay, I'll just close and apply. So by that we have completed the Power Query part. Okay, then we will come to the uh, different options that we have uh, within the Power BI desktop also. Okay, but we will start with certain different visualizations as well. Okay, basically, I want till now we are looking at the data, how we can format the data, how we can look at the data as such and all. Okay, but I would like to start with the visual perspective so that you will be understanding how we are utilizing the data in terms of the visual as such. Okay. First and foremost thing I would like to make you understand is like we have certain themes in here. Okay, few organizations they use their themes. Okay, and they will try to uh, make the dashboard look and feel changed by this. So I have selected this theme, or I would can select this theme, or I can even select any of the theme. Okay, like this. But usually we will go with the plain one. Okay, that is the first and foremost thing you have to understand, because few organization what they do is they try to create a template kind of thing. When I say template, okay, across organization you will see the same heading on top. Okay, and visual perspective you will have to use some any one of these themes. Okay, so that it may be like 10 reports, 15 reports, 100 reports, whatever you are developing. So at a organization level you have to like follow those themes. Okay, follow those font size, color, font color, font size, font uh, size, font color, and then the kind of background colors also that will be like that will be used across the organization as such. Okay, that is the main reason why they usually use the themes as such in here. Okay, let's start with a couple of visuals, then we'll try to understand those as well. Okay, so we have something called like a stacked bar chart. Okay, when I say the stacked bar chart, so it usually allows us to put multiple dimensions as well. Okay, let's see that. Okay, how we can visualize this in terms of the data that we want to pull into this as such. Okay, let's say I have category. Okay. Mm, so I am putting that in axis here, and then I am putting the sales as such. Okay. So sales, I'll just use as a values in here. You see, what am I looking by looking at this? I am able to see the sales based on the category. Okay. But for some reason, this being a stacked one, when we say stacked within this bar, we can add another dimension also. Okay. Let me bring in the region for that. Now I'm putting the region in here. You see, when we say stacked within a bar, we can add one more dimension where we are splitting the bars into multiple other values as such. Okay, so that we are able to see what is the sales, okay, in technology under central region. So we are looking at two, three things in here, not just one thing. First, we are like looking at sales, looking at sales for technology. Okay, looking at sales for technology in central region. Okay, there are three things altogether. Okay, so basically when a customer asks like if I want to use one measure and multiple dimension tables in my vision, then probably you would suggest them to go for this kind of stacked bar chart. Okay, and how you can visualize the date. I mean to say, you need to add labels to this. Okay, so suppose when you want to add the labels in here, we have something. Okay, we have something in here itself. Okay, where we will be able to add labels in here, you see, and we can change the labels how we want to show as well. These are like auto units. I mean to say, the units that are being shown in here, okay, they are automatically generated. Let's say you want to make it thousands, you can show in thousands. So around 170,000 sales is for the technology in central region, something like that. Okay, if at all you want to see in millions, you can go for the millions as such. And if you want to go for billions, again billion also. Usually this sales is not till billions. That is where everywhere you can see the zeros as such. So millions at least somewhere like 0.17, 0.15 shows as such. Again thousands, you can see well as such. Okay. So so by this I just want to make you understand, like you when you want to show something to the customer. So basically here you are trying to show the sales, trying to show the sales in technology under different regions, trying to show the sales for furniture for multiple regions, trying to show the sales for office supplies for multiple regions. That's how it is. So you will be able to visualize this one in, I mean to say, you want to show the visual in such a way that the customer or the user has to understand what you are trying to showcase by the visual that you are trying to build in here. Okay. Any questions? Just let me know if you guys have any questions so that we can discuss on this. Okay. And uh, let's talk about one last thing. Let's say I want to add some heading in here. I will just go for a text box. Okay, or I can go for a shape. Okay, these are under insert option. Okay, I will take you through all these options. Okay, we'll try to utilize what all the options, whatever that we have in here. We'll try to utilize all the options. Okay, and then probably we can work on that as such. Okay, and heading will be something like this. We can put it to till the end, and under these options of the format, we can see certain fill, outline, and all these things. We will look anyhow in the next class. Okay, I just don't want to load all the details in one single class, something like that. Okay, so this is about that. Any questions that you have? We'll just continue tomorrow then. Okay, and we'll just check with the other visuals at the same